Chosen one, stop at this very moment, because the word I want to send you has been delayed for far too long. But today every obstruction is being removed, so that you may finally hear what can change this month, this year, and the entire road ahead. Do not scroll past. Do not allow busyness to carry you away one more time. And do not assume this is merely an ordinary reminder. For many weeks you came very close to clarity again and again, but noise, worry, and matters that appeared urgent kept interrupting. There were times when you intended to pause and listen, but your mind was too exhausted. At other moments, you sensed a gentle prompting, but immediately dismissed it. Today, heaven has opened a silence deep enough that you will no longer rush past what was prepared specifically for you. That delay has reached its end. The forces that once distracted you are weakening. The interference that filled you with confusion no longer possesses the same authority, and the fog covering your understanding is gradually lifting. The message that followed you through many days has finally caught up with you at the exact moment when you became mature enough to receive it. I do not say this to awaken fear, but to help you understand that whatever belongs to clarity will find its way to you when you are ready to stand still. You have not been forgotten, nor are you someone who arrived too late. Certain words can only be entrusted to a heart that has learned to distinguish the voice of peace from the call of panic. Today, you are standing at that point where what was once vague is beginning to take shape, and what once confused you is gradually becoming easier to understand. I know the recent nights have not been easy. At times, you felt an unexplainable weight settling over your mind, as though everything appeared normal outwardly, while inwardly you could not find rest. There were fragmented dreams that caused you to awaken feeling unsettled, repeated thoughts you tried to dismiss, and moments of silence that suddenly felt heavier than usual. You assumed it was merely exhaustion, pressure, or excessive sensitivity. But I want you to view it with greater discernment. Not every feeling is a sign, but there are moments when your inner world is warning you that you have lived under tension for too long, remained too close to what drains your peace, and moved too far from the healthy rhythm to which you need to return. I use that very weariness to help you recognize what is consuming your energy, what is causing you to lose direction, and what must be laid down. There are places where you once tried to remain, but no longer feel that you belong. There are conversations that once seemed engaging, but now leave only emptiness. There are relationships that continually cause you to question your dignity. This is not condemnation. It is alignment. I am protecting you from decisions made while exhausted, from impressive promises without a foundation, and from crowded roads that do not lead toward purpose. Yet every time clarity approached, anxiety interrupted. Trivial matters consumed your attention, and your mind was pulled in many directions. That distraction made you believe you were weak, when in reality you had simply lived for too long without giving yourself enough rest to hear your own inner voice. But today, those forces have failed, because you are here and I have your attention. You do not need to fear that you have missed every opportunity. What is truly meant? For you will not disappear merely because you once understood slowly or wandered in the wrong direction. Nevertheless, from this moment forward, you must cooperate by protecting your focus, reducing unnecessary noise, and refusing to give authority to things that do not deserve it. Make time to rest. Write down what is confusing you. Look honestly at the habits that exhaust you. and courageously establish boundaries with people who continually pull you away from peace. Clarity does not come only through one emotional moment. It grows when you are willing to change the way you live, the way you choose, and the way you use your time each day. Recently, you sensed a silent battle around you, even though you could not describe it precisely. You felt tired without understanding why, awakened after a long night still lacking strength, felt separated from the peace that once seemed familiar, and sometimes questioned even the purpose you once trusted. These things do not mean you have failed or that I have abandoned you. Perhaps you carried too many responsibilities, held too many unspoken emotions, and tried to appear strong for too long. Darkness always attempts to use exhaustion to make you view everything through the lens of hopelessness. It magnifies small worries, recalls former failures, and persuades you that the future will be identical to the past. But those thoughts are merely echoes from a weary season, not a verdict over your life. I am gently drawing you out of chaos. I am not asking you to pretend to be strong, nor do I condemn you for having days when you did not want to continue. I want you to understand that resting, seeking appropriate support, and making healthy choices are also expressions of faith. You do not need to carry everything alone. Reach out to someone trustworthy. Speak honestly about what is weighing upon you, and allow yourself to receive care. Some battles are not won by trying harder, but by knowing when to stop, breathe deeply, sleep sufficiently, leave what is harmful, and return to what nourishes peace within you. Strength does not always appear as endurance. Sometimes, strength is having enough courage to admit that you need rest. Today, I tell you that what was delayed will begin moving forward with a new rhythm. The warning you need will become clearer. The direction you have been seeking will no longer remain covered as before. And your breakthrough will begin with the decision you make today. Do not wait for an overwhelming sign before changing. Begin by no longer postponing the necessary conversation, completing what you have avoided, rearranging your priorities, and saying no to what is stealing your peace. I will not fulfill your responsibilities in your place, but I will walk beside you when you move with discernment. Every correct choice, no matter how small, can become the first stone in the construction of a new road. You must also understand that acceleration does not mean chaos. What comes from heaven carries order, calmness, and opportunities appearing at the proper time. It may begin with an idea suddenly becoming clear, a meeting opening a new direction, a decision helping you escape an old pattern, or a quiet certainty that it is time to leave what no longer aligns with you. You do not need to pursue every door. The right door will not require you to sacrifice dignity, health, or peace in order to enter. Listen to the deep steadiness within you, because I do not lead you through panic, pressure, or the feeling that you must compete. I lead you through clarity sufficient for you to walk firmly without destroying yourself. From this moment forward, stop calling yourself someone who is always delayed. Stop telling your story as though you are merely a victim of what happened. You are someone who learned how to rise, recognize what was distorted, and begin choosing differently. The fog is lifting, not only because circumstances are changing, but because your eyes are ready to see the truth. What once terrified you will no longer control you so easily. Voices that once caused you to question yourself will gradually lose their influence. Steps that were once hesitant will become steadier, as you understand that I do not pressure you through fear, but guide you through love, patience, and peace. Therefore, rise with a new posture. Delay no longer has the authority to define you. Exhaustion is not your identity, and days of confusion are not your future. What once pursued you has now reached you, not to frighten you, but to awaken you. Today is the day you begin seeing more clearly, choosing more firmly, and walking more lightly. I am with you in every wise decision, every healthy boundary, and every small step you take. What needs to be warned about will be revealed, what needs healing will receive care, and what needs to open will arrive at the proper time. You no longer need to run from this calling. Receive clarity, protect your peace, and begin again with a steady heart, my beloved child, in a world that continually pressures you to move faster, react immediately, and constantly prove your worth. I am calling you back to the strength of stillness. Every day, countless voices around you say that if you do not respond at once, you will be considered weak. If you do not defend yourself immediately, others will think they have won. And if you do not seize every opportunity, you will be left behind. That rhythm causes many people to run continuously without knowing where they are going. Speak endlessly without truly understanding what they want to communicate, and appear everywhere while growing increasingly distant from themselves. Even those who appear successful, joyful, and confident may be quietly carrying deep exhaustion, because constantly responding, performing, and maintaining a perfect image has taken away their ability to rest genuinely. You have sensed this for a long time. The pace of the world may help you accomplish many things, but it does not always help you heal. Therefore, I want you to understand the difference between being trapped and being held still for a greater purpose. When you are trapped, you feel your strength being drained. Your vision becomes unclear, and every step is controlled by fear. But when I hold you still, even if outward circumstances have not changed, your inner world gradually becomes stable. Slowing down does not make you smaller. It helps you hear more clearly. It does not remove opportunity. It protects you from entering a door. Merely because you are desperate to escape your present place. There are moments when you believe you are not progressing, when, in fact, I am preventing you from rushing forward with a heart still filled with turmoil. I do not hold you still to delay what is good. I hold you still so that what is good can arrive without being distorted by your haste. I saw the times when you wrote a very long message and then deleted it. You wanted to explain everything, correct the way others perceived you, and provide evidence that you were not the person they assumed. You also rehearsed conversations in your mind, imagining every sharp response so that no one could wound you again. At times, you intended to reach out one more time, not because your heart was truly peaceful, but because you wanted closure, acknowledgement, or a sign that you once mattered. Then, just before you acted, a gentle prompting appeared, causing you to pause and ask whether speaking again would truly bring clarity or only create another cycle of chaos. My beloved, the moment you stopped was not failure. It may have been the exact moment when discernment protected you from complicating what I was quietly untangling. Of course, that restraint sometimes caused you to question yourself. You wondered whether you were avoiding a necessary conversation, lacking courage to speak the truth, or allowing someone to escape accountability. You feared that silence would be interpreted as agreement, and that refusing confrontation would allow wrongdoing to continue. But you must remember that not every silence is the same. Some silence is born from fear, but some is born from maturity. Some people remain silent because they are afraid to speak, while others remain silent because they have recognized that their words will not be received in a space concerned only with winning. I am not asking you to bury the truth or endure what causes harm. I am teaching you to distinguish between the time to speak clearly and the time to allow time itself to complete what words cannot accomplish. What you once called hesitation may actually be wisdom reaching maturity. Wisdom does not always appear as a quick answer. Sometimes it arrives as a pause between emotion and action. It gives you time to ask whether the words you are about to speak will heal or only deepen the wound, and whether the decision you are about to make comes from peace or from fear of being forgotten. Impatient people often regard immediate reaction as strength, but mature people understand that true strength lies in refusing to allow one heated moment to determine long-term consequences. When you can endure being misunderstood without losing your integrity, you are entering a new authority. When you no longer need to win every argument in order to know your value, you have escaped a trap that held you for a long time. The waiting I am teaching you is not surrender. It is trust preserved under pressure. You can still prepare, observe, learn, and take necessary steps, but you do not act merely to relieve temporary anxiety. You do not send a message because you fear being forgotten. You do not return to a door that repeatedly wounded you, merely because you feel lonely tonight. You do not accept an unclear proposal because you fear another opportunity will never come. Proper waiting does not make you inactive. It helps you move without betraying yourself. It allows you to do what must be done at the proper time, with a clear mind and an attitude not controlled by anger. Remember that certain things become clear only when you stop stirring them. Muddy water cannot become clear if a hand continually disturbs it. A relationship cannot reveal its true nature if you constantly make excuses for another person's actions. A door cannot prove that it is suitable if you must continually force it open. I am teaching you to step back just enough for truth to have room to appear. When you stop pursuing, you will see who genuinely wants to walk beside you. When you stop defending yourself in every conversation, you will recognize who seeks understanding and who merely wants to draw you into conflict. When you stop trying to control the outcome, you will see what was previously concealed by your own anxiety. Nevertheless, do not turn stillness into a cold wall. I do not want you to use silence to punish, manipulate, or force others to guess. If a sincere conversation can bring healing, enter it with humility. If a boundary must be clearly stated, speak calmly. If you have wounded someone, do not use silence as a reason to avoid responsibility. Sacred stillness is not escape. It is the place where you prepare to act correctly. It causes you to speak less, but with greater weight, and to make decisions more slowly, but with greater stability. I want you to become someone who does not speak because they have been provoked, but because they understand what must be said. There will also be people who are unfamiliar with your calmness. They once knew how to make you react and relied upon your haste to draw you into unnecessary arguments. When you no longer answer as before, they may call you distant, passive, or difficult to understand. But you do not need to destroy your peace merely to prove that you still care. Growth sometimes causes you to be misunderstood by people familiar only with the version of you who was easily provoked. Allow time to reveal that your silence is not contempt, but the decision no longer to feed patterns that wounded both sides. My child, I am leading you out of the way of living that always feels compelled to do something immediately. Not every moment requires action. Some moments require listening. Not every question requires an immediate answer. Some answers need time to mature. Not every misunderstanding needs to be corrected through words. Certain things can be clarified only through your consistent life. When I hold you still, do not panic that you are being left behind. I may be helping you avoid a mistake that would take years to correct. I may be protecting the peace that has only recently been rebuilt. I may also be preparing a direction so clear that when it appears, you will no longer need to force, compete, or guess. Therefore, slow down without guilt. Allow silence to cleanse the competing voices within you. Do not respond merely because of pressure. Explain only because you fear being misunderstood, or return simply because familiarity is calling your name. Ask whether what you are about to do comes from love or panic, from discernment or the need to prove yourself. When the answer is unclear, you are permitted to wait. When your heart is not peaceful, you are permitted to pause. I do not measure your worth by how quickly you react, but by the honesty and wisdom present within every choice. The world may continue pressuring you to run faster, but I am teaching you to walk in the right direction. Sometimes the strongest step is remaining still long enough not to leave the road. I am opening for you, my beloved. My love is drawing closer to you than ever before, not to punish you or repeat everything you once did imperfectly, but to affirm that you have always been cherished, preserved, and joyfully received. I have never stood in a distant place watching you struggle alone, nor have I ever become so disappointed that I turned my face away. Even on the days when you could not feel my presence, my hand was quietly protecting, guiding, and preserving you from roads that did not belong to you. I am proud of you, not because you were always strong or never made mistakes, but because after every season of exhaustion, you still tried to rise. After every wound, you still refused to allow your heart to grow cold. And after every season of doubt, you still possessed enough courage to turn your eyes toward the light. In my hands is a scroll covered with brilliant light, and your name is written upon it as a reminder that your life is not a meaningless sequence of days. Every chapter through which you passed, including those you wanted to erase, is being restored to its proper place. Some pages were soaked with tears, some lines appeared broken by betrayal, and some long, empty spaces caused you to believe your story had ended. But I never placed a final period where you fell. The parts you believed were ruined are being continued through the wisdom, courage, and hope you gathered through every trial. As that scroll gradually opens, you will understand that I did not merely preserve your dreams. I purified them so that when they are revealed, they will no longer be mixed with fear, pressure, or the need to prove your worth. Perhaps at this very moment, you feel a gentle warmth within your chest, or an unexplainable peace inviting you to remain a little longer. Do not worry if you feel nothing unusual, because my love does not depend upon temporary emotion. Some days you will feel my presence as clearly as sunlight touching your face, while on other days you may possess only enough strength to believe through one faint breath. I value both. What matters is not how intense the emotion feels, but whether you are willing to open yourself to the truth that you are still loved. I do not need you to create a perfect spiritual condition. I need only your sincerity, even if that sincerity is merely the confession that you are tired, afraid, or uncertain about how to continue. The truth I am placing within you is not a temporary word of comfort. It possesses the authority to change the way you view the broken places in your past. What once caused you shame will no longer be permitted to define who you are today. Rejection will no longer serve as proof that you lack value. Words that once caused you to question yourself will gradually lose their weight. Because my voice is reminding you that your worth cannot be measured by another person's approval. I am transforming hesitation into pure confidence, not the pride that desires superiority, but the steadiness of someone who knows they were created with purpose. I am also transforming prayers once spoken in silence into peaceful declarations. You will live, you will grow, you will not remain imprisoned in the old story, and you will move forward without apologizing for the light I placed within you. The identity I speak over you is not another mask you must perform before the world. I am not calling you to become a stranger to yourself. I am leading you back to the authentic person, concealed beneath years spent trying to survive. You are not the judgment of the person who wounded you. You are not the failure of a plan that did not succeed. You are not the emptiness left behind when someone departed. Nor are you the weak version of yourself that fear continually recalls. You are someone who passed through darkness and preserved compassion, endured great pressure without completely losing faith, and began again repeatedly without receiving guarantees. That truth is resonating within the deepest place in you, becoming clearer with every passing second, so that you no longer bow before the false names once placed upon you. This message has reached you today, because I am clearing the road ahead, not only by changing circumstances, but also by removing the layers of fog within. Every lie that caused you to view yourself through distorted eyes is being brought into the light. Every rejection that caused your heart to close is being healed through new understanding. The whispers saying you are unimportant, that it is too late, or that nothing good can come will no longer have authority to guide you. I do not erase memory, but I change the power memory holds over your life. You can remember what happened without reliving the pain every day. You can look upon the past with discernment, receive its lesson, and move forward without carrying its chains. During this process, I want you to cooperate by protecting what you allow to enter your mind. Stop repeating negative words merely because they have become familiar. Do not use former mistakes to predict every new outcome. When your thoughts tell you that you will fail again, pause and remember that the person you are today possesses greater wisdom than the person you were before. When fear says, everyone will eventually abandon you, remember that you are learning to recognize healthy relationships, establish clear boundaries, and stop clinging to people who bring only chaos. Sacred preparation does not mean you have no responsibility to act. It means you act with clarity so that new steps are no longer controlled by old wounds. If you wish to mark this moment, you may write, "My identity is protected," but write it freely, not because you fear that a blessing will be taken away if you do not. A declaration is not a magical key, nor does it force heaven to fulfill a request. Its value lies in the sincere decision you communicate to yourself. You will no longer give authority over your identity to people who do not value you. You will no longer diminish yourself in order to enter spaces that do not align with you. And you will not allow one difficult season to make you forget the good qualities refined throughout your journey. When words are accompanied by choices and action, they become a marker reminding you that you decided to leave the darkness of denial. Remain within this peace for a little longer, because what I am preparing is not merely an outward change. The deepest breakthrough occurs when you no longer view yourself through the eyes of those who rejected you. You will begin entering a room without immediately searching for approval. You will learn to receive praise without suspicion, accept love without continually waiting for betrayal, and take hold of opportunity without destroying it because you feel unworthy. This is the freedom I desire for you. I do not want you merely to receive something good and then live in fear that it will disappear. I want you to become stable enough to receive, nurture, and preserve it with gratitude. The intensity you are feeling is not an invitation to panic or expect a strange event. It may be evidence that parts of you that were sleeping have begun to awaken. You are no longer satisfied with environments that require you to diminish yourself. You no longer want to live under continual suspicion, nor can you continue calling what exhausts you normal. Alignment is taking place as your thoughts, decisions, and actions gradually come into agreement with your true values. The right people will respect this change. Those familiar only with the version of you they could control may not understand, but you do not need to return merely to make them comfortable. Walk with compassion, but also with the clarity I have taught you. You are about to enter a truth prepared specifically for your journey. You do not need to become anyone else in order to be loved, but you must release what no longer reflects the person I am creating. I will continue guiding you through peace, wisdom, and healthy signs within practical life. Do not follow every voice claiming to be meant for you. Examine what produces clarity, compassion, and responsibility. What comes from me will not cause you to lose dignity, pressure you through threats, or demand that you prove faith through blind action. My love makes you free, but it also calls you to maturity. Therefore, lift your head, my beloved. The scroll has not closed, and the most beautiful pages are not necessarily behind you. I am continuing to write through the courageous decisions you make, through the trust you choose, during days that remain unclear, and through the gentleness you preserve after everything that once caused you pain. You no longer have to live as someone pursued by the past. Your identity is being restored, your road is being illuminated, and what I want to give you, first, is not applause or outward success, but the peaceful certainty that you belong to love, that you possess value, and that your life still contains many good things waiting to be revealed.